Kamilka! Wiktoria cię woła! Wiktoria cię woła!
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What the hell is that?
When officers respond to calls, they're ready for anything. But sometimes they come face to face with something they can't explain. Here are moments when cops came across what they weren't even sure were human. It was December 31st, 2022, when police were called to the village of Grubsko, Poland. When officers arrived, they found a woman hanging out of a window, making strange, almost inhuman noises. She didn't respond to anything.
Tu jesteś, dzikuska. Chodź, misiu. Nie bardziej jak świnia, kurwa. Chodź. Chodź tu, kurwo.
One of the officers, clearly frustrated, curses at her. She doesn't react, just waves a chair around without saying a word. Nothing seemed to get through. Desperate, they flashed their lights at her. The only response? A deep, guttural growl, something that didn't even sound human. Someone tried calling out to her, mentioning her daughter, but all they got in return was another inhumane sound.
Tu jesteś, dzikuska. Chodź, misiu. Nie bardziej jak świnia, kurwa. Chodź. Chodź tu, kurwo. Chodź tu. Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, tu coś cię widzę. To nie czołgaj się. Kamilka. Kamilka! Kamilciu! Chodź na dół, twoje dziecko cię woła. Chodź, Kamilka, dziecko cię woła. Kamilka! Wiktoria cię woła. Wiktoria cię woła.
Let's take a moment here. So, who is this woman? Her name is Kamilka. There are a few explanations for her behavior. Some think she may have been possessed. The house she was in is linked to a gruesome criminal case from the 1980s, where a family in Western Poland was involved in cannibalism. Just a few days earlier, she'd reportedly been part of a Ouija board session inside the same house. Others believe she was having a severe mental breakdown, possibly triggered by the loss of her daughter. Whether it was hysteria, anxiety, or depression, the supernatural explanation seemed to overshadow the mental health theory for many. But let's get back to the body cam footage. When the woman didn't respond, the officers decided to enter the house.
Jezu, jak to ona tak warczy? Ja pierdzielę.
Zarczyzny, kurwa, tak?
No, totalnie.
Pierdolę, ja dostaję tylko 5000 zł, kurwa, tam. Idź tam do...
Uważaj.
You can sense their hesitation. They weren't just apprehensive, they were clearly unnerved. The woman hadn't stopped growling. These officers weren't paid enough to deal with this kind of situation. They didn't know what she'd do if they got close. As they moved closer, she started lashing out at them. Do they shoot? Do they try to restrain her? Even the most well-trained officers would be unsure here.
A wy ją widzicie w ogóle?
No nie.
In the end, someone said something about her kids and maybe that helped, though we're not even sure if that's what did it.
Kamila, chodź, Wiktoria przyjechała. Uwaga. Dobra, wstawaj. Kamilka. Kamila.
Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś widzę.
Damian, byśmy się zamienili pozycjami, to może mógłbyś nam sami robić.
Odsuń się i
Nie?
uważaj. Bo łeb, kurwa, dostanie.
Drut ma jakiś.
The camera stops rolling here, but we do know that the police managed to calm her down. She was taken to the hospital, checked out, and released the next day. A paranormal investigator later spoke with her and her family. She doesn't remember much from that night and doesn't believe it had anything to do with the paranormal. On November 22nd, 2021, 2 officers were called out to investigate a possible break-in at an Airbnb. The homeowner had no guests booked that night and noticed something strange, so she called the police. Apparently, she had heard some noises from the house when there was supposed to be no one inside.
How's it going? What seems to be the problem?
I left for a while to go shopping, and when I came home, the door is open. I think somebody broke in.
Does anyone live in the house?
Yes, my husband, myself, and our 2 kids, but they're out of town right now. They're with his parents.
And how many rooms do you have?
2 upstairs and 1 downstairs.
All right, we're gonna have to go and search the house. Is it okay if we go in?
Yeah, of course.
You don't have any like pets or dogs or anything?
No.
The cops went in with their guns ready, like they always do when there might be someone dangerous inside. They shouted to let anyone know they were there, but the place was silent. No response. With no choice, they started checking the house, room by room, making sure they didn't miss anything or anyone hiding. Now, you might be wondering, why did the officers stick to their flashlights instead of just flipping on the lights? Well, there are 2 main reasons. First, when you're in a situation like this, every second counts, and wasting time looking for light switches isn't an option. Second, turning on the lights could alert any intruder inside, giving them the chance to hide or escape. But was someone really inside? Let's take a look. As soon as the cop stepped inside, weird things started happening. His body cam started glitching, and his radio cut out. Oh, and if you're still wondering about those empty closets, don't be. It's an Airbnb, and the owner keeps them that way to prevent theft.
Anyone inside? I'm gonna check downstairs, you get upstairs.
He could hear noises but couldn't see anyone. His body cam glitched again, and just when you think it couldn't get stranger, it did.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Out of nowhere, a door started moving on its own. The camera glitched, and then it happened again. Still, no one in sight. that point, the officer backed off quickly, but then he heard something. Footsteps, like someone was running, but he couldn't see a thing.
Downstairs, clear.
The cops wrapped it up because there was no intruder, but what was all that noise and those strange occurrences? Was it an entity, a ghost, or something else? Clearly there was something, but what? And if you think this is strange, wait till you see the last case. This one needs a bit of a backstory. On August 13th, 2018 in Frederick, Colorado, Chris Watts killed his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste. Early that morning, after a heated argument about their marriage, Chris strangled Shanann in their bedroom. Shortly after, Bella and Celeste woke up asking where their mom was. Instead of answering, Chris loaded Shanann's body into his truck, taking his daughters with him. He drove to an oil site where he worked. Once there, he buried Shanann in a shallow grave, but the horror didn't end there. Chris then turned to his daughters. He smothered both Bella and Celeste, disposing of their small bodies in oil tanks. For 2 days, Chris pretended to not know what had happened, even making public pleas for his family's return. But after failing a polygraph test on August 15th, he finally confessed to killing Shanann. Later, he admitted to murdering his daughters as well. Here's his confession.
The girls are still in the truck.
Okay.
Did they ask you what you were doing, taking mommy out, or?
Yeah, I don't remember what I told them, but they did ask that.
What they say specifically?
It was more of like, what are you doing to mommy?
Okay. Alright. And then the girls, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. You mentioned Bella was first. Cece was first, okay. Where exactly was she when it happened?
In the back seat.
Okay. Was she just right next to Bella?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so once again, was it a hand over her face? Was it?
It was a blanket over and my hand.
And then your hand. Okay. And then so that just stopped her from breathing type thing? Okay. Did she struggle at all?
I don't think so, but I was blocking her face and my hand was right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had one hand here and one hand over her mouth?
And were you just pushing her against the back of the seat type thing? Okay. What was Bella doing?
She was sitting there next to it. She didn't know what was going on.
Okay. Could she see you? Okay. Tell me about what you were thinking.
I wasn't. If I was thinking it's what would happen.
Yeah.
Or any partial hint of what I feel for those girls and what I feel for my wife, but none of this would have happened, so I wasn't thinking.
Okay. So she's in the back seat. Okay. And then once she's gone, then is it Bella next, or did you pull Cece out?
I pulled Cece out.
Okay, so once Cece's gone, Bella's still there in the car alive, and then you pulled Cece out. What'd you do with her? Okay. So she went into the tank, and Bella was still in the back of the truck alive. Okay. With regard to that tank, did you bring up Cece, put her down, open the hatch?
Brought her up, opened the hatch.
And then put her in. Okay. And then went down to Bella. Tell me what happened there.
She said what happened to Cece. Or she asked if it was the same thing, the exact same thing that happened to me as Cece.
Did she ask you that? Okay. So Bella's pretty smart. How did she sound when she asked you that, Chris?
She had that soft voice she always had.
Yeah. And what exactly did she say?
She said exactly the same thing that happened to me as Cece. And then I said, I don't even remember what I said.
Okay.
I know if I just said yes like a horrible person, or if I just put that blanket over her too and did the same thing.
Same blanket, same way?
On August 14th, 2018, while K-9 units were searching the Watts family home to locate Shanann and the kids, the body cams caught some strange things. It wasn't just the officers noticing it, the cleaning crew there also experienced weird stuff. Some of the devices even picked up what sounded like EVP recordings, like someone or something was there with them. As the cops moved through the house, something weird caught their attention. The body cam picked up what looked like a girl walking down the stairs. No one was supposed to be in the house, but it's right there on camera. Then you hear this creepy voice say, "Get out alive." It's faint, but it's there. The officers didn't hear it in the moment, but it's clear in the footage. But then a sound was heard, pretty loud and clear. Just when you think it can't get stranger, a loud noise cuts through, followed by someone, or something, saying, "No." It's clearly a female voice. And who was murdered? A female. The officers still move forward.
A lot of these are motion activated.
As the cops move deeper into the house, you can hear a faint whisper. The name Chris is spoken softly, like someone is trying to reach out. Next, the two officers make their way into a closet, but upon further inspection, it turns out to be a wardrobe in one of the bedrooms.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world was that? Wow. Go in there and step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that noise came.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It might. It sort of sounded like it.
Something. There was a... I heard it.
That one. Did you hear it?
I did.
Yes.
Things get even creepier when a child's voice echoes through the house, calling out, "Mommy, mommy!" This time, even the cops hear it, get surprised, but soon after this call is followed by a faint giggle, like a child is playing nearby, though there were no kids in the house. Maybe it was the ghost of the murdered.
We'll make a note of that.
I heard it. I definitely heard the same thing you did.
Yeah, and then he just sort of turned around and looked. But I didn't.
The cops didn't catch anything after this, but the people watching the body cam did. After a little while, another whisper is heard.
Definitely scent coming out of there.
Yeah.
Then another voice breaks through saying, "I'm with Cece." The officers stop and look around, but there's no one there to explain the sound. Now, if you don't remember, Cece was one of the daughters Chris killed first. So could this be the voice of the other daughter trying to show where she was, or even where her body was? It's unsettling to think about, but the timing and the words feel too specific to ignore.
Here's a pair of her.
As they keep moving, a voice firmly says, "This is our home." It feels like someone, or something, wants to make sure they know who really belongs there. Then you hear, "I'm so much dead." It would scare the life out of someone, but that just so happens to be a hint.
His nose is down to the ground a lot here.
As they continue, a low, creepy moan comes out of nowhere.
Yes, very organized, very clean.
Here, you hear a voice say, "Something told her," and immediately after, a young girl says, "Hi." It's quick, but it's there. It's as if bits and pieces of a conversation have been leaked to reality, and the body cam caught up a few pieces here and there.
I mean, there's not even dust in the basement.
You can almost hear someone whisper, "This situation's undaunting." But that's not all. Even when the cops are about to leave, another sound is picked up.
That's toxic. That's toxic.
Towards the end, a sad voice says, "I'm so sad." And another voice responds with, "Isn't it?" Like they're having a conversation. The final unsettling words you hear are, "I think they liked it cooped," leaving everyone with more questions than answers. Whatever was going on in that house wasn't normal, and the footage just made everything feel even more disturbing. So there you have it, 3 cases where police officers came across something they couldn't explain. What do you think? Was there something supernatural going on? Or is there a logical explanation? Either way, these events were captured on body cam footage, and it's hard to ignore the creepy details. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more chilling footage, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our next video. And if you've got any theories about what went down in these cases, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think.